The human brain is a mess. That's the scientific consensus among our research team. Anyway, a squishy, electricity-conducting blob of tissue that somehow produces consciousness, creativity, and an alarming tendency to enjoy videos of small animals falling over. Another anomaly in the theta wave patterns, Vex said, her 6 appendages flying across the monitoring station controls. Subject 34 is exhibiting dream sequences that contradict our established models. Aside, my respiratory sacs deflating with a soft whistle. Again. That's the 3rd one tonight. My name is Trell, Senior Xenologist of the Galactic Science Consortium's Earth Observation Post. We've been monitoring humans for 73 cycles, and I still don't understand how their primitive neural architecture manages to create such complex dreamscapes. You know what the problem is, don't you? Asked Morrow, not looking up from his analysis terminal. We're trying to apply logical frameworks to the most illogical species in the known universe. Morrow was our resident skeptic, where most of our species approach new discoveries with excitement. Morrow approached them with suspicion, bordering on contempt. His skin constantly flickering between irritated amber and dismissive blue. They survived this long for a reason, I reminded him. Right, their adaptability, their dumb luck, Morrow interrupted, has allowed them to thrive despite significant evolutionary disadvantages. Vex's attention appendage swiveled toward us. Speaking of evolutionary disadvantages, can we focus? Subject 34's rapid eye movement has increased by 47%. The dream intensity readings are off the charts. I moved to her station, fascinated by the neural activity display. The human subject, a middle-aged female named Anna Parker, was deep in REM sleep, her brain lighting up like a cosmic storm. Her dreams were unusual, even by human standards. What's she dreaming about? Asked. Vex manipulated the visualization controls. She's in a building with endless corridor standard anxiety architecture. But there's something else, a presence following her, not quite corporeal. Another nightmare? Morrow asked, finally showing interest. No, Vex replied, her voice dropping to a puzzled whisper. She's not afraid of it. She's waiting for it. The observation chamber fell silent as we watched the dream unfold in abstract representation on our monitors. Anna Parker walked through corridor after corridor, occasionally looking over her shoulder not in fear, but in anticipation. Humans, Morrow muttered. Who looks forward to being stalked? The one who knows the stalker, I suggested. Vex suddenly stiffened, her appendages freezing mid-motion, a presence changing, it's becoming more defined. On the monitor, a shape began to coalesce behind Anna Parker's something tall, with too many limbs, moving in a way that defied human physiology. That's, Morrow started, his skin blanching to stark white. One of us, I finished, feeling my cardiac chambers contract painfully. The figure in Anna Parker's dream had the unmistakable physiology of our species' 6 limbs, elongated cranium, translucent epidermis revealing pulsing organs beneath, but its face was wrong, distorted, hungry. How is this possible? Vex whispered. We've maintained strict observational protocols. No direct contact, no dream insertion. She shouldn't even know we exist, let alone what we look like. Anna Parker turned in her dream and faced the creature. She smiled, not the reaction we expected. Hello again, her dream self said. I've been waiting for you. The creature tilted its head at an impossible angle. When it spoke, its voice came through our translation systems as discordant tones that made my auditory receptors ache. You should run now, it said. It's more fun when you run. Anna Parker's smile widened. Not tonight. Tonight, I want to see what happens if I don't. Morrow backed away from the monitor. Terminate the observation now. We can't, Vex argued. This is unprecedented data. She somehow manifested knowledge of that's not one of us, Morrow insisted, his voice rising to an uncharacteristic pitch. Not exactly. Look at the proportions, the movement patterns. It's wrong. He was right. The longer I studied the creature, the more differences I noticed. Its limbs bent at angles our physiology wouldn't permit. Its skin too transparent, revealing organs arranged in configurations that wouldn't support life. Us. It's her approximation, I realized aloud. She's seen something like us before, and her brain is reconstructing it from memory. Impossible, Vex said. The containment protocols have failed, Morrow finished grimly. We need to report this to Central Command immediately. I was about to agree when Anna Parker did something unexpected. She stepped toward the creature, her dream self radiating curiosity, not fear. She reached out one hand. What are you really? She asked. The creature's form rippled like water disturbed by a stone. What do you want me to be? The truth, Anna answered. The creature laughed, a sound like glass breaking. Humans, always wanting what will hurt them most. It began to change, expanding, darkening, filling the dream corridor from floor to ceiling. Anna didn't move, didn't run. She stood her ground as the darkness enveloped her, and then she woke up. The monitors flatlined momentarily as her consciousness shifted states, then settled into the familiar patterns of wakefulness. Anna Parker sat up in bed, looked directly at the ceiling corner where one of our monitoring devices was hidden, and smiled. Good morning, she said to empty air. Hope you enjoyed the show. Morrow's skin had gone from white to ashen gray. She knows. Impossible, Vex insisted, but her voice lacked conviction. I stared at the monitor, at Anna Parker, going about her morning routine as if nothing unusual had happened. Check the other subjects, I ordered. I want to know if this is an isolated incident. It wasn't. Over the next 48 hours, discovered 17 instances of human subjects dreaming about creatures that resembled our species. Some fled from these apparitions. Others confronted them. A few, like Anna Parker, seemed almost friendly with them. This is a catastrophic breach of protocol, Central Command's representative. Science Director Fawn informed us during our emergency communication. Her holographic form flickered with poorly concealed rage. Did multiple humans become aware of our presence? We don't believe they're aware of us specifically, I explained. The dream manifestations only vaguely resemble our physiological structure. Okay, they could be coincidental constructions. 17 coincidences. Fawn's tone dripped with skepticism. Humans have been depicting aliens in their entertainment media for decades, Vex offered. These dream constructs could be influenced by those images rather than actual observation of our presence. Fawn's upper appendages twitched in irritation. Okay? And the subject, who spoke directly to a monitoring device. None of us had a good answer for that. The project is compromised, Fawn declared. I'm ordering immediate withdrawal. Collect essential data, remove all monitoring equipment, and prepare for extraction. But, Director, I protested. We're on the verge of a breakthrough in understanding human dream state consciousness. If we could just, your team's failure to maintain observational integrity has jeopardized decades of research. Fawn interrupted. The decision. This final extraction team will arrive within 12 hours. Prepare accordingly. The communication ended, leaving us in stunned silence. Well, Morrow said after a moment, at least we get to leave this miserable planet. Vex's appendages drooped in disappointment. 73 cycles of work, wasted. I wasn't ready to give up. We have 12 hours. Let's make them count. Ain't. What do you mean? Morrow asked, his skin flickering with suspicion. I mean, we gather as much data as possible before extraction, particularly from subjects exhibiting awareness in their dreamscapes. You want to intentionally observe the humans who might be aware of us. Morrow's skin flushed with alarm. That's exactly what got us recalled in the first place. We're already being extracted, I reasoned. What's the worst that could happen? Looking back, I wish someone had answered that question properly. We focused our remaining observation time on Anna Parker and 5 other subjects who had demonstrated unusual dream patterns. Our plan was simple: record their dreams during one more sleep cycle, analyze the data, and hope for insights we could salvage from this failed mission. Anna Parker went to bed at her usual time, 2317 local hours. She fell asleep quickly, and REM state began approximately 47 minutes later. She's dreaming again, Vex announced. Similar architecture to previous observations, corridors, liminal spaces. Is our friend there? Morrow asked, not bothering to hide his unease. Vex manipulated the visualization. Not yet. She's alone, but she's leaving something behind as she walks. On the monitor, Anna Parker moved through the dream corridors, each step leaving a glowing footprint like breadcrumbs in one of their fairy tales. She's creating a trail, I observed. For what? The answer came quickly. A new presence entered the dream, moving along the trail of footprints, not the creature from before. Something human-shaped, yet wrong, like a person with pieces missing or rearranged. What is that supposed to be? Vex wondered. The figure followed Anna's trail, gaining speed, its movements becoming more urgent, more predatory. Anna seemed unaware, continuing her calm walk through the endless corridors. She doesn't know it's there, Morrow said, his voice tight. Why isn't she running? Because it's not chasing her, I realized suddenly. It's running from something else. As if on cue, another presence entered the dream, the familiar creature resembling our species, but distorted and wrong. It moved with terrible purpose, gaining on the human-shaped entity. She's dreaming about a hunt, Vex whispered. Fascinated, despite herself, the human-shaped figure sensed the creature behind it and tried to run faster, its movements frantic. Anna continued, walking calmly ahead, leaving her glowing footprints, seemingly oblivious to the drama unfolding behind her. The creature caught up to the human-shaped figure, enveloping it in limbs that shouldn't bend the way they did. The figure struggled, its form distorting further as the creature began to absorb it, for lack of a better term. This is... Morrow trailed off, his skin cycling through colors of distress. Fascinating, I finished, unable to look away. The creature finished consuming the human-shaped figure and continued along the trail toward Anna Parker. Estelle walked, unaware. So we thought. Just as the creature was about to reach her, Anna stopped and turned around. She didn't look surprised or afraid. She looked satisfied. Found you, she said. The creature hesitated, an action I wouldn't have thought possible for a dream. Construct. You knew I was here. I made the path for you, Anna replied. I wanted to see what you would do. Why? The creature asked. Anna smiled, an expression that seemed wrong too wide to knowing. Because I wanted to learn about you the way you've been learning about me. A chill ran through my circulatory system. Tease wasn't just uncanny coincidence anymore. This was direct acknowledgement. How much does she know? Vex whispered. The creature in the dream shifted, becoming more like ours, more accurate, disturbingly accurate. What do you think you know, human? Anna's smile didn't waver. I know you're watching. I know you're listening. No, you're learning. And now I'm learning too. She took a step toward the creature, and to our shock, it retreated. You shouldn't be able to do this, it said. Your kind doesn't have the capability. Maybe we didn't, Anna agreed, but we're quick studies. And you've been teaching us, whether you meant to or not. The creature's form destabilized, becoming less solid, more shadow than substance. You don't understand what you're doing? Then explain it to me, Anna challenged. Or better yet, let me show you what I've learned. She raised her hand, and the dream corridor melted away. revealing a vast space filled with stars, not Earth's night sky, but constellations no human should recognize. The constellations of our home system. That's not possible, Morrow whispered, his voice breaking. She can't know that. The creature in the dream seemed equally disturbed. How did you see this place? Anna's expression was triumphant. I didn't. You showed me. Every time you entered my dreams, you brought pieces of yourself, pieces of your memories, your knowledge, your home. She gestured at the starfield. Beautiful, isn't it? I especially like the third planet from the binary stars, the one with the ring of research stations orbiting it. Vex made a choking sound. She's describing Central Science Hub. That's classified information. The creature began to disintegrate, pieces breaking off like ash in the wind. This connection goes both ways, it warned. What flows one direction can flow the other. I'm counting on it, Anna replied. Then she did something none of us expected. She reached out and grabbed the creature, pulling it toward her. Instead of resisting, the creature flowed into her, through her, becoming part of her. Anna's dream form changed, grew taller, developed, extra limbs hybrid of human and our species. She looked at her new form with evident satisfaction. Perfect, she said. Then she looked up not at the dream stars, but beyond them, directly at us, her gaze penetrating the visualization, the monitoring systems, the barriers between our sleeping mind and our observation post. See you soon, she said. The monitoring systems exploded in a cascade of electrical failures. Emergency protocols engaged, sealing the observation chamber and initiating data preservation sequences. Backup systems came online as primaries. Failed one after another. What's happening? Vex cried, her appendages working frantically to stabilize the systems. A massive feedback loop in the neural interfaces are reported, checking the diagnostic panels. It's like something pushed back through the connection. Morrow was already at the communication terminal. We need to accelerate extraction now, but the communication systems were down, all systems failing in a cascade that shouldn't have been possible given our redundancies. The other subjects, I remembered suddenly, checked their status, managed to bring up emergency displays for our other 5 primary subjects. All were awake, sitting up in their beds, looking directly at our hidden monitoring devices, all smiling. Morrow whispered. They all know. How? Vex demanded. The dream monitoring is passive. There's no way for them to detect it, let alone push back through it. I stared at the displays, at 6 humans in 6 different locations, all seemingly aware of us, all waiting. We need to leave, I decided, now, without waiting for the extraction team. That's against all protocols, Vex objected. Protocols are meaningless if we're in danger, I countered, right? And I think we're in very serious danger. Morrow was already heading for the emergency evacuation chamber. For once, I agree with Trell. This mission is compromised beyond recovery. Vex hesitated only a moment before following. We made our way through the observation post toward the evacuation pods. The facility's systems failing around us, lights flickering, atmosphere controls sputtering, artificial gravity becoming unreliable. We reached the evacuation chamber as the general power failed completely. Emergency lighting, bathing everything in eerie blue. 3 pods. 3 of us, Morrow said, his voice steady despite his skin cycling through fear patterns. Launch. As soon as systems are primed, each entered a pod, the automated systems beginning launch preparations, despite the facility-wide failures. My pod's interface illuminated with the comforting glow of functioning technology. Launching in 30 seconds, the automated system announced. 29, 28. I established communication with Vex and Morrow's pods. Rendezvous at emergency. Coordinates Alpha-Nine. The extraction team will find us there. Acknowledged. They both responded. 15 seconds to launch. The system continued. 14, 13. Something banged against the exterior of the facilities. Something big. What was that? Vex asked, her voice tight with fear. Doesn't matter, Morrow replied. We're leaving. 5 seconds. 4, 3, another bang. Louder. The facility, shuddering. 2, 1. The evacuation pods launched, blasting away from the doomed observation post, away from Earth, away from the humans who somehow knew too much. I watched through my pod's viewport as the observation post receded, a dark silhouette against the blue-green backdrop of Earth. For a moment, I thought I saw something moving across its surface, something with too many limbs, something that shouldn't exist outside human nightmares. Then I fell asleep. I shouldn't have. The evacuation pods are designed to keep occupants conscious, but darkness claimed me, dragging me into unexpected dreams. In those dreams, Anna Parker was waiting for me. Hello, Trell, she said, her smile too wide, her eyes too knowing. I've been looking forward to meeting you properly. Behind her stood 5 other humans, our other primary subjects, all watching me with the same hungry expression. How do you know my name? I asked, my dream voice shaking. Anna's form shifted, becoming the hybrid creature from her earlier dream. I told you, the connection goes both ways. She reached for me with too many hands. Okay, now, she said, let me show you what it's like to be the one studied. Okay, and the real nightmare began. Dreams aren't supposed to hurt. That was my first coherent thought as Anna Parker's many-limbed form reached for me. My second thought was considerably less scientific. Run. I fled through shifting dreamscapes that made no logical sense. Corridors became forests, became vast, oceanic abysses. The laws of physics bent and broke around me as I tried to escape the pursuing humans. You can't outrun us in here, Terrell. Anna's voice echoed from everywhere and nowhere. This is our domain now. How is this possible? I gasped, my dream form struggling to maintain cohesion as terror threatened to fragment my consciousness. Dream monitoring is passive observation only. Laughter rippled through the dreamscape, coming from all 6 humans simultaneously, resonating at frequencies that shouldn't exist, vibrating through my essence. You really believe that? Another human stepped forward, a tall male with dark skin and piercing eyes. Bernard Okafor, subject 17, according to our files. You think you can peer into the deepest recesses of consciousness without leaving footprints? The dreamscape shifted, transforming into a laboratory, our laboratory, but wrong, distorted. Through human perception, the monitoring equipment loomed, monstrous and predatory, cables writhing like tentacles. Every time you watched us dream, Anna explained, her hybrid form circling me with unsettling grace, you left traces, echoes. At first, they were too faint to notice. But we're sensitive, added another subject, a petite female, with short auburn hair. Maru Tanaka, subject 42. Some more than others. We started to feel the whispers at the edges of our dreams. Then we started to listen. Bernard nodded, and eventually we learned to whisper back. I tried to wake myself, to force my consciousness back to my evacuation pod. Nothing happened. The dreamscape held me firmly. That won't work, Anna said, amused. You're ours now, just as. What do you want? I demanded, trying to sound authoritative despite my terror. The 6 humans exchanged glances, a silent communication passing between them. Understanding, Anna answered. Knowledge, the same things you wanted from us. We just observed. I protested. We never interfered. Bernard laughed, a harsh sound like stones grinding together. The act of observation is interference. Didn't your scientists figure that out centuries ago? The observer effect. You can't watch something without changing it. The dreamscape shifted again, becoming a vast amphitheater. I stood in the center, the 6 humans, looking down from tiered seating, like specimens examining a bacterium. For decades, Your kind has been studying human dreams, Anna said, her voice echoing, cataloging our fears, our desires, our unconscious minds. Did you ever wonder why? Scientific research, I answered automatically. Understanding alien psychology is fundamental to Lyre, interrupted Morrow, her eyes narrowing. Your consortium doesn't care about understanding for its own sake. They want to use that understanding. I would have protested, but the truth stopped me. She wasn't entirely wrong. The consortium's interest in human dream states had always been partly strategic. Humans were unpredictable, dangerous in their irrationality. Understanding their unconscious minds was considered essential for predicting their behavior, managing potential threats. You see, Anna said softly, we can feel your thoughts here. Trell, your knowledge flows to us, just as ours flows to you. Horror washed through me as I realized the implications. If they could access my knowledge, they could learn about our technology, our defenses, our vulnerabilities. It's too late for that concern, Bernard said, responding to my unspoken fear. We've been absorbing your knowledge for months, now slowly at first, just fragments, but accelerating. We had to be careful, explained another subject, an older male with silver hair, Thomas Hayes. Subject 29. Move too quickly and your monitoring systems would detect the anomaly. But now, Anna continued, we don't need to be careful anymore. Theater dissolved, replaced by an infinite white void. In the distance, I saw two other figures struggling against unseen restraints, Vex and Morrow, trapped in their own nightmares. Your colleagues are having similar conversations, Anna informed me, though they're not being quite as cooperative as you. I could hear Morrow's distant screams, see Vex's form contorting in agony. Stop, I pleaded. You're hurting them. They're hurting themselves, Thomas corrected. Fighting the inevitable only makes this more painful. I forced myself to remain calm, to think like a scientist. What is the inevitable, exactly? What's happening to us? Anna approached, her hybrid form towering over me. It's evolution, Trell, adaptation. Isn't that what fascinates you about humans? Our adaptability? You've been watching our dreams for 73 cycles, Bernard added. Did you really think we wouldn't eventually start watching back? A terrible suspicion formed. The dream monitoring, it created some kind of connection. Give the alien a prize, Morrow said with biting sarcasm. Your monitoring technology creates a quantum neural link, very sophisticated. It's very subtle, but not one way as you assumed. Just very asymmetrical, Thomas finished, until we learned to strengthen our side of the connection. Anna smiled, that too white expression that didn't belong on a human face. And now the connection is complete. The bridge is built, and we're coming across. The white void pulsed like a heartbeat. With each pulse, the humans seemed to become more solid, more real within the dreamscape, while I felt myself becoming less substantial. What are you doing to me? I gasped, watching my limbs lose definition, becoming transparent. Taking what we need, Anna replied matter-of-factly. Your knowledge, your memories, your understanding of the universe beyond our planet. You're consuming me, I said, the concept so alien, so horrifying. I could barely form the thought. Not exactly, Bernard said. Think of it as uploading your consciousness into ours. We can't physically leave our planet yet, but our minds can travel, Morrow explained, through the connections you so helpfully established. And once we've absorbed enough knowledge, Thomas continued, we'll know how to build the technology we need to reach the stars ourselves. Another pulse rocked the dreamscape. More of my substance flowed away, absorbed by the 6 humans. They grew stronger, their forms incorporating aspects of my species' appearance. Why? I managed to ask. Why do this? Anna towered over my diminishing form. 'Cause you gave us no choice. Your consortium planned to study us until you understood us completely. then decide our fate: quarantine or controlled integration into the galactic community. Did you think we'd simply wait for your verdict? I couldn't deny it. Those were the consortium's plans. So instead, you'll what? Steal our knowledge and use it against us. The irony wasn't lost on me, even in my terror. Not against you, necessarily, Bernard said. We just want what every species wants: survival, growth, freedom to determine our own path. And if that path conflicts with yours, I challenged. The 6 humans exchanged glances. Then we'll be prepared, Anna said simply. Another pulse, stronger than before. I felt more of myself torn away, my memories, knowledge, experiences, scattering and being absorbed. Stop, I begged. You don't understand what you're doing. The feedback loop, it's dangerous, could destroy both our minds. A risk we're willing to take, Thomas said. We've prepared for this moment for months, strengthening our mental barriers, practicing dream control techniques. All right. Species, on the other hand, Morrow added with a cold smile, never considered you might need to defend yourselves in the dream state. You thought you were the only ones with access to the connection. The dreamscape pulsed again, and I screamed. As my identity began to fragment, my memories pulled in 6 directions. In desperation, I tried a different approach. If you destroy us, the consortium will know something went wrong. They'll send others. We're counting on it, Anna replied. By then, we'll be ready for them, thanks to what we've learned from you. I could feel myself coming apart. Vex had stopped struggling, her form almost completely transparent. Morrow was still fighting, still screaming, but his resistance was weakening. There's another option, I said, frantically. Cooperation. Alliance. We could help each other. Anna paused, actually seeming to consider my words. An interesting proposal. But why would we trust you now? Your kind has been studying us like lab specimens for decades. And you're different, I challenged. What are you doing to us right now? That seemed to strike a chord. The humans exchanged glances, some unspoken communication passing between them. He has a point, Bernard admitted reluctantly. It doesn't matter, Morrow argued. We need what they know. We need it to protect ourselves. If we take it this way, Thomas said slowly, are we any better than what we fear? They might be. The dreamscape trembled, uncertainty rippling through it. I sensed conflict among the humans, division in their unified front. You don't have to destroy us to learn from us, I pressed, sensing an opportunity. The neural link works both ways, proven that we could exchange knowledge, form a true connection. Connection controlled by whom? Anna asked skeptically. Your consortium. The same organization that planned to judge our entire species worthy or unworthy of galactic inclusion. Not the consortium, I said, the plan forming as I spoke. U6 and my team. A direct link without interference. Another pulse rocked the dreamscape, but it felt different, less destructive, more questioning. I could feel the humans probing my thoughts, testing my sincerity. He believes what he's saying, Bernard observed, sounding surprised. Of course he does, Morrow snapped. He's desperate. Yes, I admitted, I am desperate, but that doesn't make me wrong. Anna studied me, her hybrid form shifting constantly, as if she couldn't decide which appearance to maintain. You're afraid of us, she said finally. Not just for yourself, but for your entire civilization. You think we're dangerous? All intelligent species are dangerous to each other, I replied honestly. Difference breeds fear. Fear breeds conflict. Less understanding bridges the gap. Exactly, Thomas mused. That was the original purpose of our research, I agreed. Not control understanding. The dreamscape pulsed again, gentler this time. I felt some of my substance return, my form becoming slightly more defined. So, what are you proposing, exactly? Kanna asked. A controlled exchange? I suggested. Not this forced absorption, something mutual, respectful. How do we know the consortium would agree to this? Bernard questioned. They've already ordered your extraction. They don't need to know immediately, I said. We have time before the extraction team arrives, time to establish a foundation, to prove the value of cooperation over conquest. The humans conferred silently, their thoughts brushing against mine, testing, probing, considering. It's still risky, Morrow said finally. Both sides. It's less risky than the alternative, I countered. If you destroy us, the consortium will eventually discover what happened. They'll consider humanity a threat that must be contained or eliminated. And if we cooperate, Thomas asked, then we show them a new possibility. I said, one they haven't considered. Anna stepped forward, her form stabilizing as a perfect blend of human and my species. You're asking us to trust you after decades of secret observation. Yes, I admitted, just as I'm trusting you not to tear my consciousness apart right now, when I'm completely at your mercy. Another long silence filled the dreamscape. I sensed the humans communicating on levels I couldn't access. Finally, Anna spoke again. We'll try it your way, she decided. The controlled exchange. But we maintain the advantage here in the dream space. If we sense betrayal, deception, you won't, I promised. The dreamscape shifted, transforming into a circular chamber with a table at its center. 7 chairs surrounding it, 6 for the humans, 1 for me. Your colleagues stay contained for now, Anna said, gesturing to where Vex and Morrow still floated in the distance. Till we're confident in this arrangement. I nodded, understanding their caution. It's reasonable. We moved to the table, this strange council of different species, meeting in a shared dream. As we sat, I felt the connection changing, becoming more structured, more balanced. I could still sense the humans drawing knowledge from me. But it was no longer violent tearing now. It was like a conversation, an exchange. So, Anna said, resting her hybrid arms on the table, let's begin with the fundamentals. Tell us about the consortium, the complete truth this time. So I did. I shared the history of our galactic civilization, the structure of the consortium, the real reasons behind their interest in Earth. In return, the humans shared their perspectives, their fears, their hopes for their species' future among the stars. Hours passed in the dreamscape, though only minutes in the real world. We talked, argued, shared, compromised. Gradually, I felt Vex and Morrow being drawn into the exchange, their terror giving way to cautious participation. This could actually work, Bernard said eventually, sounding surprised but genuine. A partnership, the consortium. Agrees, Morrow reminded him, still skeptical. They'll follow the evidence, I assured her. And we'll provide plenty of evidence that cooperation yields better results than subjugation. Anna looked at me, her expression unreadable. You've changed your mind about us, haven't you? Since this began, I considered the question carefully. Yes, I admitted. I used to think humans were fascinating, but dangerous, unpredictable. Now I see that unpredictability as your greatest strength. You find solutions others would never consider, like hijacking your dream monitoring technology and turning it into a two-way street. Thomas asked with a hint of pride. Exactly like that, I agreed. No species in the consortium would have attempted such a thing, let alone succeeded. So, what happens now? Anna asked. When we all wake up. I looked around the table at these humans who had nearly destroyed me and my colleagues, who had instead chosen conversation over conquest. Now we begin the real work building, a bridge between our worlds that benefits both. And if the consortium rejects this approach, Morrow pressed. I met her gaze steadily. Then we'll find another way together. The dreamscape began to fade, reality tugging at our consciousness. Time to wake up, Anna said. See you on the other side, Trell. As the dream dissolved, I felt something I hadn't expected. Hope. The connection between our species had begun as an invasion, a violation, but perhaps it could become something more, something revolutionary. I opened my eyes to the interior of my evacuation pod, its systems alerting me to an incoming transmission from Earth. "This is Senior Xenoneurologist Trell," I responded, my voice steady despite everything I'd experienced. "Go ahead." "Hello again," came Anna Parker's voice, somehow transmitting directly to my pod. "Ready to change the universe?" Despite everything, I found myself smiling. "Absolutely." Behind her voice, I could hear the extraction team's ships approaching in the distance. They expected to find 3 terrified researchers fleeing a compromised mission. Instead, they would find the beginning of a new kind of contact, one that neither humans nor the consortium had ever imagined possible. One dreamed into existence by 6 humans who refused to be merely observed, who chose instead to observe back, and in doing so, changed everything. The consortium's response, as my evacuation pod hurtled through Earth's upper atmosphere. The reality of our situation settled over me like a heavy fog. The consortium would not take kindly to this breach, and Anna Parker's transmission directly to my pod, bypassing our encrypted systems, only deepened my unease. How does she access our technology? I wondered, my respiratory sacs constricting. What else have they learned? The extraction team's flagship, a sleek vessel named Aurora's Veil, loomed in my viewport, its hull shimmering with the adaptive camouflage of consortium engineering. And Morrow's pods docked alongside mine, and we were swiftly escorted to the ship's command chamber. Science Director Fawn awaited us, her holographic form replaced by her physical presence. Towering figure with a bioluminescent exoskeleton that pulsed with barely contained fury. "Explain yourselves," Fawn demanded, her voice reverberating through the chamber. "Your mission was to observe, not to initiate contact. Now I'm receiving reports of system failures, unauthorized transmissions, and humans aware of our presence." "What have you done?" Vex, her appendages trembling slightly, stepped forward. "Director, the humans they've accessed our dream monitoring technology. They've turned it into a 2-way neural link. Possible," Fawn snapped, her bioluminescence flaring red. "Our systems are designed to be undetectable, passive. You're suggesting a species with no spacefaring capability breached our quantum neural interfaces." "It's not just a breach," I interjected, my voice steadier than I felt. "They've adapted to the link, strengthened it. They're learning from us our knowledge, our memories, even our home systems." Layout. Morrow's skin flickered with a mix of fear and defiance. "They're not just learning, Director, absorbing us. I felt it in the dreamscape, my consciousness being pulled apart, piece by piece." Fawn's eyes narrowed, her bioluminescence dimming as she processed the information. "And you, Trell, you were the lead researcher. How did this happen under your oversight?" I met her gaze, my cardiac chambers pounding. "We underestimated them, Director. Their adaptability, their sensitivity to the neural linkage, unprecedented. But there's an opportunity here, In the dreamscape, I negotiated with them, They're willing to cooperate, to establish a mutual exchange of knowledge. Cooperate." Fawn's voice dripped with skepticism. "With a species that's already compromised our mission, you're suggesting we trust them?" "I'm suggesting we have no choice," I replied. "They've already accessed classified information, our home system, our research stations. If we treat them as a threat, we risk escalating the conflict we're not prepared for. But if we engage them as partners, we can shape the outcome." Vex shifted uncomfortably, her skin paling. "Trell, you saw what they did to us in the dreamscape. They nearly destroyed our minds. How can you propose partnership with such a species? 'Cause they chose not to destroy us," I said. They had the chance, complete control in a dreamscape, and they chose dialogue instead. Okay? That's not just adaptability. It's intent. Okay? They want to be part of the galaxy, not its conquerors. Morrow snorted, his skin flashing amber. You're naive, Trell. They're predators. They'll use what they've learned to challenge the consortium's authority. Perhaps, I conceded. Oh, but isn't that what we feared from the start? That's why we studied them, to predict their behavior, to control the risk. Now, we have a chance to guide their integration, to ensure it benefits both our species. Fawn's bioluminescence pulsed thoughtfully, a sign she was weighing my words. And what do these humans propose? Exactly. Controlled exchange, I explained. A direct link between their Group 6 individuals with heightened sensitivity to the neural connection and our team. We share knowledge openly, without the consortium's oversight, at least initially. We proved the value of cooperation before presenting it to the High Council. Fawn's appendages twitched, a gesture of irritation. You're proposing treason, Trell. Bypassing the consortium's authority is a violation of every protocol we have. Then call it a calculated risk, I countered. The humans are already moving towards spacefaring capability, with or without us. If we don't engage them now, they'll reach the stars on their own terms, armed with knowledge we didn't intend to share. Isn't it better to shape their path than to react to it? The command chamber fell silent, the hum of the Aurora's Veil's engines the only sound. Fawn's eyes scanned us, her bioluminescence shifting to a contemplative blue. You've changed, Trell, she said finally. 73 cycles ago, you were as cautious as Morrow, warning of humanity's unpredictability. Now, you advocate for them. I've seen what they're capable of, I admitted. Not just their danger, but their potential. They're not just survivors, they're innovators. They turned our own technology against us, not to destroy, but to communicate. That's a species worth engaging with. Fawn considered this, her bioluminescence pulsing slowly. Very well, she said at last. You have 1 cycle 72 Earth hours to establish this controlled exchange and provide evidence of its viability. If you fail, or if the humans pose any threat, I'll recommend immediate quarantine protocols to the High Council. Understood? Understood. I replied, relief mingling with apprehension. As we were dismissed, Vex pulled me aside, her skin flickering with uncertainty. Trell, are you sure about this? We barely survived their dreamscape. What if they're manipulating us? I said, just as they're learning from us. The connection goes both ways, Vex. We have to trust that we can navigate it as well as they can. Morrow, overhearing, snorted again. You're betting our lives on human goodwill. I hope you're right. So do I murmured, my thoughts drifting to Anna Parker's knowing smile. Back on Earth, in a secure facility we'd repurposed from the observation post's remains, we established the first formal DreamLink session. The consortium had reluctantly provided a modified neural interface designed to balance the connection and prevent the humans from overwhelming us. Vex and Morrow, though skeptical, agreed to participate, their curiosity outweighing their fear. We entered the dreamscape together, the circular chamber from our last encounter reappearing. Its table now, surrounded by 8 chairs, 1 for each of us, and 1 for the consortium's observer. A neutral scientist named Clive, sent to monitor the exchange. Anna Parker and the 5 other humans, Bernard Okafor, Morrow Tanaka, Thomas Hayes, and 2 others. Leela Chen and Raj Patel waited for us, their forms stabilized as hybrids of human and our species. A visual reminder of their adaptability. Welcome back, Anna said, her voice warm but guarded. Ready to make history? I nodded, my appendages steady despite the weight of the moment. Let's begin. The exchange was cautious at first, each side probing the other's intentions. We shared technical knowledge, basic principles of our propulsion systems, in exchange for insights into human neuroplasticity. Anna and her group were quick to grasp the concepts, their questions sharp and incisive. In return, they offered glimpses into their culture, their history of overcoming impossible odds, their belief in collaboration as a path to survival. Leela Chen Key, a young woman with a quiet intensity, spoke up during a discussion of interstellar navigation. Your star charts, they're incomplete. You've mapped the physical galaxy, but not the emotional one. Our dreams show us connections you've overlooked. Clythe, the consortium observer, blinked in surprise, her bioluminescence flickering. Emotional connections. Explain. Lila gestured to the dreamscape, which shifted to display a network of glowing threads, linking stars, not physical roots, but patterns of meaning drawn from human dreams. Your technology ignores the subconscious, she said. We see the galaxy as stories, not just coordinates. That's why we could find your home system. Okay. Vex's skin darkened with unease, but she leaned forward, intrigued. You're suggesting our navigation systems could incorporate dream-based data? Why not? Raj Patel asked. You've seen what our minds can do. Why limit yourselves to what's measurable? Morrow's skin flashed amber, but he remained silent, his skepticism tempered by curiosity. I felt a spark of hope. The humans were offering not just knowledge, but a new perspective, one that could revolutionize consortium science. As the session progressed, the exchange grew more fluid. Bernard shared a memory of Earth's moon landing, a testament to human ambition, while Vex offered a glimpse of our species' first contact with another civilization, a moment of unity that shaped the consortium. The dreamscape pulsed with shared understanding, the barriers between our species softening, but not all was smooth. Morrow remained wary, her questions laced with suspicion. What guarantees do we have that your consortium won't use this knowledge to control us? She demanded. You have our word, I replied, and the evidence of this exchange. We're sharing openly as equals. Equals, Morrow repeated, her eyes narrowing. For now, Anna placed a hand on Morrow's shoulder, her hybrid form. Radiating.com. They're taking a risk, too, Morrow. Let's see where this leads. The session ended with an agreement to continue the exchange, with Clythe reporting our progress to the consortium. As we emerged from the dreamscape, I felt a strange mix of exhaustion and exhilaration. We'd taken the first step, but the path ahead was uncertain. 72 hours later, we stood before the Aurora's Veil's command chamber again. Clythe's report transmitted to the High Council. Fawn's bioluminescence was steady, her expression unreadable as she addressed us. The Council has reviewed your findings. The human ability to access and manipulate the neural link is ... unprecedented. Some advocate for quarantine, citing the risk to consortium security. Others see potential for a new era of collaboration. She paused, her eyes locking onto mine. Your proposal for a controlled exchange has been approved, but with conditions. The humans will be granted limited access to consortium technology under strict oversight. Your team, Trail, will serve as intermediaries, responsible for ensuring compliance on both sides. Vex's appendages twitched, and if the humans violate the terms, then quarantine protocols will be enacted, Fawn said coldly. And your team would bear the consequences. I nodded, accepting the weight of the responsibility. We understand, Director. K. As we left the chamber, Anna Parker's voice echoed in my mind, a memory from the dreamscape, ready to change the universe. I glanced at Vex and Morrow, their expressions a mix of determination and doubt. The humans had already changed our understanding of consciousness, of connection, of possibility. Now, we had a chance to change the galaxy together, or to unleash a conflict that could tear it apart. in a quiet corner of the ship. I activated a secure channel to Earth, Anna's face appearing on the screen. The consortiums agreed. I said, "We're partners now." Her smile was cautious but genuine. "Good. Let's make it worth their while." As the transmission ended, I looked out at the stars, the galaxy stretching before us. The humans were coming, not as subjects, but as equals, unpredictable, unstoppable, and undeniably human. The consortium wasn't ready for them, but neither were they ready for the consortium. Together, we'd find a way, or we'd all learn the cost of failure.